Well, hey there, welcome back. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. My name is Mike, and this is my firewood channel, The Wood Pile, where we do all things firewood. Today, we're going to answer the burning question of how much gas does it take to run a 17 RS to split in one face cord of firewood. And there's a little bit of a catch. We're not just splitting it into boiler-sized pieces or something. All of my firewood is going into bags or loose stack in my roadside firewood stands. And loose stack wood, I make the same size as bags. And for me, that really means no larger than about 3 inches by 4 inches or 4.5 inches by 2.5 inches. I've got an assortment of wood right here. And this is typically what we make. So this is all red oak. There's 3.5 inches by 2 inches. That's a perfect piece right there. Here's about a 2 by 2. Yeah, about 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Another great piece. Here's a kind of a funky one. Anything like that works. It's 2 1/4 inches. 4 1/4 inches. This piece right here is about the biggest size I'm ever going to make. It's 4.5 inches. It averages out to about 2 1/4 inches. And that's about as big as my customers want. They want to be able to handle it with a single hand, you know, kind of put it in their fire pit or the fireplace and go. So why don't you hang out with me for the next 20 minutes or so, and we're going to run through this face cord of wood. I've got a full cord stacked up here, but we're just going to do this first row. It's a face cord of wood. And in Minnesota, well, everywhere, a face cord is 8 feet long, 4 feet high, and about 16 inches deep. Minnesota, if you tell somebody you're selling them a cord of wood, a cord is a legal term when it pertains to firewood in the state of Minnesota, and it's regulated by the Department of Commerce weights and measures. And a cord of wood in Minnesota is regulated to be a full cord, which is 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot. So if you're selling somebody a face cord of wood and telling them you're selling them a cord of wood, you're technically breaking the law in Minnesota. I don't know if it's like that in every state, but like our bags and bundles need to tell your customer how much wood you're selling them, whether it's 1 cubic foot, 0.75 cubic foot, or 1.25 cubic foot. You have to display on there how much wood is in there. And again, that's regulated by the Department of Commerce weights and measures. So why don't you take a walk over to my shop with me? We'll get the ATV and the Wolfe Ridge 17 RS out. We'll get it all set up and we'll run through this face cord of firewood. Let's go for a little hike. So I had a question the other day on one of my videos, and this guy was wondering how easy it is to maneuver the Wolfe Ridge 17 RS around by hand. And he asked me if I could do it. It's kind of a loaded question. Yes, I can do it. I can maneuver it around in my shop, no problem, on the cement floor. I can maneuver it around right here on this flat, relatively flat dirt surface, no problem. But when we get into the wood yard where there's a lot of chips, chunks of wood, frozen clods of dirt, you can't really move it around that well. The machine weighs 1,000 pounds. And the reason that is it's made to be a very heavy duty machine. So it takes the four-wheeler to move it into place. I may have to take the foot off the business end of it to get it hooked up. I'm gonna have to. So all I have to do, I should be able to drag this right on out. Nope, not quite. I'm gonna have to lift it up and kick it out. Oh, it almost came out. There we go. Got the foot out. Footrest. I don't know what that's called. So you can see there's some reverse tongue weight here, which is not a problem. That is kneel on it. It's got a kind of a funky hitch. Doesn't have the traditional clasp style. It's got this guy, but there it is. It's actually not that difficult to move around as long as the surface is fairly firm. If it's really rough, it's not easy. But again, weighs about 1,000 pounds, and it's not meant to be moved around by hand either. don't know if I'm going to be able to get this or not. It's looking like a no from this angle. There's a pretty good bump right here. If this bump wasn't here, I'd be able to push it up into place. It's really close to where I want it. Probably close enough. Let's take the hitch out. I'm going to put a little wheel chock here, which is a tiny little sliver of wood. That'll work. That's OSHA approved. Now, if you lift it up high enough without the hitch, it will sit on that end. Mostly. And we can put the jack in it. Okay, bring it down. It's actually pretty good where it is. It's a nice level surface. Just got to get the foot in it now and jack it up. It's basically jacked up now. Prevent it from moving. Let's get it started up and warmed up. And make sure those levers are in the back position, just in case I bumped them in my shop. Just leave it on half choke for just a little bit. There we go. Got exactly 6.5 hours on her. We're gonna let it warm up for a little bit before we get going. This is where the auto cycle shines right here. Just grab another piece for one person operating. It's pretty efficient that way. to spun it around to begin with. Gotta pay attention. Here's a big one for a half. I'll make some wood. Let's see how many pieces we get out of it. Here's two. There's four. Five. This will be seven. Nine. Looks like probably 12. Do this one into thirds. Yeah, 12 pieces out of that one. One face cord. It down. We'll let it cool down just for a little bit and see what we burn for gas. Alright, let's shut it down. See what we burn for gas here. Boy, not too much, but I do have a way to measure. It's right to the top of that plastic. Alright, I know exactly where it was. I have 16 ounces in here. Let's see where that gets us. As long as I don't spill any. It's going to take more than 16 ounces. Definitely going to take more than 16 ounces. So let's do another. Let's go to 20, it'll be 36. 16 would be 32, that's a quart. Let's go to right there's another 16. Okay, so that's 25% of a gallon. I think one more 16 will do it. 48 ounces. That's over 16. No, that's less. That's 12. Let's go there. So we've got 32 and 12 would be 44. Getting very close, but that's not an. Ooh. Let's do 4. Be 48. I should have put in that 16 last time. That is 6. So that's 50 ounces right there total, if it goes in. All right, it's exactly. So it was right to the top of that plastic little deal filter thing. And that's where it is again. And that was 50 ounces exactly. Well, the final tally was 50 ounces to fill it up exactly to where I had it before. That comes out to 0.39 gallons. And I paid $3.89.9 per gallon for 91 octane non-oxygenated gas, which is all I run in my small motors. So it's the most expensive gas we have here in town. And at $3.89.9 and 50 ounces, that comes out to $1.52 to split a face cord of oak into bag-sized pieces, or $4.56 to split a full cord of red oak into bag-sized pieces with one guy. Now, if I had 2 or 3 guys, obviously I could go a little faster and it would be cheaper. But with one guy, $4.56 to split a full cord of wood. Could you imagine splitting a full cord of wood with an axe and getting paid $4.56 for it? Man, I've worked for some low wages when I was a kid, but not that low. That's beating your body up for some low wages. But anyway, that's all I have today. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I really do. If you like this sort of thing, right here, you can just click this button and subscribe. Get a notification when my next video comes out. Over here is another video I put out last week that you might find of interest. Go ahead and check that out. Let me know in the comments what you have for a splitter and what you think yours would go through in gas to split a face cord. Or if you know, I'm curious exactly what it would go through. I know obviously some of the bigger machines will go through a little more gas, but in the scheme of things, it doesn't matter if it costs, $5 per face cord or $1.52 per face cord. It's certainly cheaper and easier than doing it by hand. Obviously, the splitter is the way to go. And as I get older, I just turned 50. It's just a lot easier on your body. So thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time.